Hi guys. Are you or have you been thinking about hitting the road full time? Well, in this video, I wanted to answer a question that I've recently been asked a lot. What are the pros and cons of RV life? So hopefully I can give you guys some insight into whether or not living on wheels full time is your next big adventure or a challenge that you're just not quite ready for yet. When I first decided to go full-time RV living, I wondered if RV life was really as dreamy as it looks on Instagram. Because, you know, isn't everything? Now, after a year of being on the road full time, I've discovered that it definitely can be amazing at times, like absolutely stunning. But it's just not all the times. Every day on the road is basically a new adventure that comes with tons of ups and downs. It's really the epitome of a roller coaster ride, kind of like life in general, I guess. I could easily have made this a list of 20 or 30 or more, but I wanted to try to keep it simple and include the biggest points, in my opinion. So today I'm going to break down what I consider to be the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons of full-time RV life. So let's start with the pros. Number 1, freedom on wheels. And this is the biggest one. RV life is basically the choose your own adventure book of adulthood. One day you're parked in a beachside paradise, waking up to the sound of seagulls and the sound of crashing waves, sipping your coffee as you stare out at the horizon like you're in a commercial. The next day, you're nestled in the mountains, surrounded by pine trees, breathing in that crisp air like you've just done a meditation retreat, even though your meditation kind of involved dodging squirrels and swatting at mosquitoes. But that's the beauty of it. You can literally follow your every whim. You don't like your neighbors, or maybe your neighbors don't like your early morning dance parties. Either way, you can just pack up and go. You have the ultimate control over your view and your vibe. The whole don't put down roots thing becomes literal. No roots, just wheels. And the best part, your home goes wherever you go. So there's no realizing you forgot your swimsuit or hiking shoes or toothpaste. Number 2, RV life is a minimalist's dream. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff that we accumulate in life, RV living might be calling your name. When you only have so much space, you quickly figure out what really matters. The 18 coffee mugs you've collected from different cities, yeah, those gotta go. Your perfect curated bookshelf that's more for aesthetics than actual reading, sorry, it's now mostly digital. The minimalist lifestyle isn't just about having fewer things. It's about having more time and energy for the things that really matter, like enjoying a glass of wine in the sunset instead of spending 3 hours deep cleaning your 5 bathrooms. Or maybe that's just me. Either way, downsizing your life can feel incredibly freeing. You've got your essentials: yoga mat, wine opener, dog treats for the gizmo, obviously, and you're good to go. Number 3, the cost of living. Now, this point can vary tremendously depending on so many factors. And I could create an entire video on this exact subject, which I probably will in the near future. But for now and in general, no mortgage, no property taxes, no HOA fees breathing down your neck because you forgot to mow your lawn, which I am personally so grateful to not have to ever worry about that again. When you are full-time in an RV, your biggest expenses are the loan on your RV, if you have one, gas or diesel, RV parks, and maybe the occasional repair. More on that in the cons, because I'm sure you knew that was coming. Sure, there are plenty of costs, but if you play it smart and do your research and planning, you can live really affordably in an RV. That means there's more room in your budget for the fun stuff, like exploring new cities, eating at amazing local spots, or splurging on those new shoes, or the new gadget that you swear will make your RV life so much easier. Spoiler alert, it probably won't, but hey, it's definitely worth a try. Number 4, epic story material. If there is one thing RV life gives you, besides a reason to spend more time on YouTube, it's stories. I mean, who doesn't love a good "the RV broke down in the middle of nowhere" tale? Trust me, your friends will be in awe when you tell tales like, I remember that time I got stuck in the mud for 3 hours, or I remember that one day that the neighbors accidentally left the cage door open and let their pet python escape into the campground, forcing us to round up all the small animals. So it's not just an adventure; it's entertainment, both for you and your future memoir. And for your YouTube channel, goldmine. Every day is a new episode. Watch me back this 30-foot beast into a tight parking spot without causing a national disaster could get real views. Or, let's be honest, the bloopers, those definitely will. And those, my friends, are aplenty. And number 5, last but not least, you are so much closer to nature. And I'm talking right up close and personal with nature, like you're starring in your own version of a nature documentary, minus the David Attenborough narration, of course. I mean, one day you're having coffee with the ocean breeze in your hair, and the next day you're stargazing in the desert like you're some sort of off-grid influencer's Instagram post. RV life is great for anyone who craves that connection with nature without actually wanting to rough it in a tent. You've got all the perks of camping: fresh air, peace, quiet, but without the bugs crawling into your sleeping bag. I call that a win. Sure, you're going to have to deal with the occasional critter trying to hitch a ride, but hey, even squirrels love the nomad life, right? Now let's talk about the cons of RV life. Number 1, maintenance drama. Now, before you pack your bags and head for the open road, let's talk about RV maintenance. Imagine your house on wheels. Now, imagine all the things that can break in a house, plus the things that can go wrong with a vehicle. Yeah, it's double the fun. The fridge stops working, the roof leaks, your water pump sounds like it's auditioning for a horror movie. It's all in a day's work when you're living in an RV. You'll either become best friends with your toolkit and learn enough to start your own RV training school, or you'll get real cozy with the RV repair shops and the mobile techs. And let's just say neither are very cheap or convenient. But hey, after you've personally fixed your leaky roof for the 3rd time, you'll be able to brag that you're basically an RV handyman now. Silver linings, right? Number 2, tiny space equals big challenges. Let's talk space, or rather, the lack of it. RV living means embracing small spaces. I mean, really small spaces. Remember that walk-in closet that you loved in your last home? Yeah, that's the size of your entire RV now. If you're not a fan of cozy quarters, this could definitely be a deal breaker. And I am not familiar with it yet, but if you're sharing the space with someone else, let's just say that you'll get to know each other real well, maybe even too well. There's no longer any such thing as alone time when your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, and office are all in the same 10 feet. That's why outdoor spaces like the entire planet become your living room. Number 3, internet roulette. For anyone living in the digital age, internet is a lifeline, but RV life, it's a game of internet roulette. Seriously. One day you've got a solid connection in the middle of nowhere and you're streaming Netflix like a champ. The next day, You're parked in what seems like a tech-savvy RV park, and your Wi-Fi signal vanishes faster than your patience when the RV toilet clogs. If you're working remotely or uploading content, hello YouTubers, prepare for some frustration. Tethering to your phone becomes an art form. You're going to get used to driving around random parking lots, phone held high, searching for that magical signal, or spending so much more time at Starbucks. Number 4, parking problems. Now let's talk about the real parking challenges. And no, it's not just about finding a spot. It's actually fitting into it, which I'm kind of used to because it's a lot like trying to find a spot in DC at any time of the day, in any type of vehicle. But if you've ever tried to back a 40-foot RV between 2 trees that are just slightly too close together while simultaneously dodging a picnic table, a stray squirrel, and a power pole that's way closer than it really should be, you know what I'm talking about. It's basically like an extreme sport. You're out there sweating, someone's yelling directions, the trees are closing in on you, and there's that one power pole that is literally just waiting for you to make a wrong move. You kind of feel like you're threading a needle with a semi-truck. And really, don't even get me started on backing up. No matter how much you practice, there is always that moment of panic when you think, please don't let me knock over this pole or hit the tree or worse. It's a high stakes parking game where the reward is simply getting out of the driver's seat and collapsing in relief. And number 5, the last con on my list is that you are always on. Full-time RV life can feel like a never-ending project. If you're not driving, you're planning your next move. You're looking for your next spot to park, or you guessed it, fixing something. It's always an adventure, but sometimes it feels more like a part-time job with no vacation days. The work-life balance in RV life is more like a work, drive, repair, repeat cycle. But every once in a while, when you're parked somewhere stunning, watching the sunset over a lake, you'll remember why you're doing it. Just be sure to soak it in before your internet cuts out again. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Are you already living the RV life, or are you just considering it? What do you think are the biggest pros and cons of RV living? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts, your experiences, or any burning questions that you might have. Let's swap stories and tips in the comments because, well, we're all in this wild rolling adventure together. If you're wondering what RV gear you really need to hit the road, stay tuned and check out my next video because that's what I'm going to be talking about. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an update on life, tips, and decorating advice for all things living an epic life on wheels. So until next time, I'll see you.